Petrified Forest National Park is a world-class locality for fossil vertebrates from the late Triassic period, and scientists from the park and many cooperating institutions are actively engaged in research here. In this video, we'll join lead paleontologist Dr. Adam Marsh to take a look at the process of fossil excavation. Adam spends a lot of his time searching for fossils that he wrote out of the rock. If he finds a specimen he wants to collect, he'll document it and carefully plan to remove it without causing damage. Today, he will be excavating a small foot bone of a phytosaur that was recently exposed from a known site. In order to stabilize the bone, the paleontologist will use a consolidant or glue. This is a liquid glue that can be applied directly to the fossil. The glue will soak into the porous bone and the liquid will evaporate, allowing the bone to harden or stabilize. Once the bone is stabilized, the paleontologist can work on removing the surrounding rock without damaging the fossil. While removing rock from around the fossil, the paleontologist doesn't want to work too close to the bone. He wants to keep some rock in place, since the rock has already been keeping the fossil together for over 200 million years. Since his goal is to keep the bone stabilized, he'll remove the rock a few inches away from the bone, creating a trench. Once the trench is big enough, the bone is isolated on a rock pedestal. Before making a plaster cast for the fossil, a separator must be applied first. This is because we don't want any plaster to touch the surface of the bone, since it's difficult or impossible to remove later. To protect the fossil from the plaster, the paleontologist first applies a layer of tissue paper, or in this case, good old-fashioned toilet paper. Using a little bit of water and a brush, he'll cover the entire surface with a thick enough layer to protect the fossil during jacketing. Once the separator is applied, the specimen is ready to be jacketed in a plaster cast. The cast is applied using strips of medical bandages coated in plaster. You can think of this as the same process for when a cast is made for a broken arm or leg. The bandages are dipped in water, then wrapped around the fossil layer by layer. We might also use strips of burlap dipped in plaster if heavier material is required. In this case, the small specimen only needs a few layers of bandages before it's thick enough to be durable. Sometimes this process has to be done quickly because the plaster can set quickly on a hot day. Once the bandages are placed, the paleontologist will make sure to spread the plaster evenly so that the jacket doesn't flex when the plaster hardens. After a few minutes, the plaster dries, sets, and becomes hard as a rock. Now that the fossil is held secure by the plaster jacket, it can finally be removed from the ground. In the case of this specimen, a few taps from the chisel and hammer in just the right place will loosen the rock pedestal. The moment of truth approaches, and the specimen must be flipped upside down quickly so that no loose rock falls out. Just like that, the fossil has been safely removed from the ground. Now it's ready to be transported to the lab, where a fossil preparator can carefully remove the plaster cast and surrounding rock to reveal the original fossil.